So the difference between living in the moment and striving to find one. What is it that we are all really trying to do here? What's this moment we're even speaking about? So I'm Andrea Gullick.
And I'm Barb Gibson, and we are here to let her be heard.
We are. I do a breath, you take a cough, because we're in the moment. We're live, we're kicking, and this is life.
Mm-hmm.
The question, Barb, I guess, that we decided to chat about today is this feeling or this doing, isn't it? It's really about the amount that we do over how to be.
Yeah.
Because being in the moment, that's a feeling that we have, opposed to, it's almost like the difference between, can we sink into right now, whatever's going on? Can we just be here?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we constantly looking to the future of how we want it to be then? And is that actually impacting the here and now? And what, like, in terms of, I think there's lots of reasons why, but can we go into that? So I'm going to throw it to you. Because you're someone that I see, and anybody that's tuned in, anybody that has even a glimmer into the life of Barb Gibson would know she's a woman that knows how to be in the moment. So I'd love if you could share with us, one, have you always been like that? Two, what changed if you weren't? Like, what's been your process of really being able to get to the point of going, here and now is all we have, and I want to be in this moment?
Yeah, good questions, Andrea.
There's only 7 for you to answer, if you could just get to it.
Well, I'm laughing about being in the moment. I was eating my dinner just before you're like, I'm going to go live, put your fork down, So, yeah, I'm in the moment. Yeah, and you made the comment about we're looking forward, we're anticipating the future, but we can also be looking backwards with regrets, or what if this would have happened, or what if that would have happened. And for me, what I discovered was stealing my moment, was stealing what was going on right now, and how am I participating in what is happening right now and being in it. And I like it. You can tell where you're at. If you're looking backwards, you usually have regrets, or you're playing some video over and over in your head. And by video, I mean a story, a scenario, a circumstance of something that happened. And if you're anxious or, hoping for something to happen in the future, you can feel that in you. You can feel this. Sometimes you'll feel anxiety, anxiousness, because you really don't know. We don't have any control over the next moment. And this is the only moment that exists. Oh, we have Dee with us. Who else is with us today? I'd love to know who else is with us.
Yeah, who's in this moment with us? Who's right here right now with us? It would be great to know. And I love how you are sort of drawing in the emotions that we can feel, and that tangible way of knowing, am I in this moment? And if I'm not, where am I? And then that opens up questions of, well, why am I there, really? And the thing when you were speaking, because as we go through this, I'm always kind of running this over for myself. Like, well, what do I stay in the moment? And if I don't stay in the moment, why don't I stay in the moment? And the thing that came up, and we've got some more people just saying hi. So hi, Diane. Thanks so much for joining.
Right, Diane. Hello.
And we've got Facebook users. So again, if you can just click the link above, just so it gives permission, so we can actually say your name. We'd love to know who is with us. And Jill Berry, awesome. All right,
Jill.
Right now.
Yeah.
But the word, Barb, and I'm wondering what you think about this, but is outcome. Like, for me, when I think about being in the moment, like just being in it because you're in it. Just being in it because you're in it, with no outcome attached to it. Like, And so this was an experience I had last week that, you know, I did an activity. I climbed a mountain. It was massive, but I did it just because I did it. Like, I knew that the view up there would be amazing. So there was an outcome of that for sure. I didn't do it for my business. I didn't do it for my family or my friends. I didn't do it for any other reason that I just wanted to be in the moment. And even the softness and grace and the peace that creates of, I just want to be here now because I want to be here now.
Right. Excuse me, it's huge, Andrea.
Fiona, sorry. Fiona.
Oh, Fiona.
Yeah, okay, we'll get into that. We'll get onto the technology stuff. That's really beautiful. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome.
Yeah, do not go asking Barb for technology advice, you guys. You will be led astray. Not on purpose, but yeah, I love that you said that you did that for you. Like, you knew there was a view, but you also knew there was a feeling connected to that. And how did that feel to be in that moment, you know? And that's because we have talked about it. I did know that you did that. You told me about that. So that's a really cool thing of like just being in the moment. You took the moment. You told me more about the story and the going up the mountain and the being in the moment of not being able to do that recently like you used to in the past, and just wanting to be in that and just feel how that felt. And it was really interesting to watch you. It was cool to watch you. But that being in the moment thing, when we're looking ahead or looking back, we're trying to control. And it is attached, like you're saying, to the outcome, I think, that if we do this, this will happen. And you know how it is when you're talking to someone and they're like already formulating their answer. How are they going to respond to you? You know, it's like,
it's a lot of what goes on here though, Bob. Sorry, just listen for a minute. Yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking about at all. I've never experienced that, Bob.
We all have, Andrea. Now we need to be serious here. Come on, be in the moment.
Be in the moment, true.
Yeah. So that thing of like trying to control something that we really have no control over, and we miss the moment. So my example there, where I was talking about being engaged in the conversation versus how am I going to respond to you, and cutting you off with what you say, or we cut ourselves off from a beautiful experience that's right in front of us.
Yeah. That's huge, isn't it, in terms of like, yes, the conversation, but like that's the thing of like what this topic is, the difference between being in the moment and striving to create one. It's like the amount of moments we give up, the amount of moments that we bypass on the path towards the moment. Like, I mean, I know it sounds really weird, but that's kind of what we're doing, is that we're bypassing all of these moments because, like, especially if we're looking forward and when I get here, I'll feel like this. When this happens, I'll feel like this. And it's like that you're striving towards that moment of like peace or excitement or happiness or contentment or love. And yet that's in us.
I love what you're saying though too, because I just cut you off there, but the arrival.
You're trying to formulate what you got to say.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that though. The arrival, like we so often when we're trying to control the moment is because we think there's going to be an arrival. We're going to get someplace where, like you just said, when this happens, then this will be okay. And if you don't know how to be in the moment, it's probably never okay. There's always another striving, another arrival, instead of just enjoying the journey and being in the journey. I don't believe there's any arrival. It's an experience. And every moment is so cool.
Yeah. And I think it's the moments that are, going to lose my words, but that that moment is really about us and how we feel. It's an internal thing. Like the moment is an internal thing that we choose, and we can choose that at any time. But the striving, that's an external thing. And when you were talking then, anything external, and we've said it before, can be gone like that.
Yep.
And so even when you arrive, like, because when you were talking, I'm like, man, this was me in my 20s, Barb. This is me in my late teens, 20s, because I was striving to be married and have children. Like that was my main focus. Like I just wanted to love and be loved. And I bypassed so many moments.
Trying to get that moment.
Exactly, get that moment. And I did, Barb. I was so incredibly blessed. I got that moment. My first husband was amazing. I loved him so much. And yet we know the end of that story. So I bypassed so many moments of fun and joy and lightness and just being and enjoying what was right there for something I achieved, which I did. But then that's external. It can change. And it's so just in this moment, like it's just this whole, just be right here, right now, because, you know, we're laughing and fun and lighthearted. And then there is this serious notion of what are we missing? What are we honestly robbing ourselves from by not being right here, right now?
Yeah. Andrea, every week we start these shows and we don't always know where this is going. We have a topic and we are like 1 minute before we're like, what are we going to say? We don't know. But as we get into it, I love the web of it and the different directions this can go. And so like you're talking about being in the moment and feeling it. And we get to choose what every moment feels like. And when you're in it and you enjoy it and you get to choose all that. It's all a choice. Being in the moment is a choice. I just love the directions that this stuff goes. So
because it's that feeling, isn't it? Like that's what keeps coming back to me is letting go of any outcome. Just how do I want to be right now? And we can do things like this. I could have gone and climbed that mountain for sure. And I could have been up there and it could have been for an outcome. It could have been for this or it could have been for that, or go with a girlfriend because that's what it's about. But it was just that, just doing it for doing it, just for me. And how often, like even people that are tuning in right now, like how often do you just do something because you want to be in your moment? You want to be with yourself.
Yeah. I don't think we've talked about it on our shows here, but that thing of why are you doing what you're doing too? And does it line up with your life, who you want to be? And what I'm thinking of right now is like our children or our spouses or just relationships. Like, I'll tell you what, I've got a phone laying in front of me right now. And how many times I see people looking at their phone and their loved ones right across the table. Or, you know, you go to the soccer game and the parents are sitting on the side looking at this and you miss it. And then pretty soon you start building that kind of a relationship with your child. And pretty soon your child isn't paying attention to you. And it creates a lifetime of not being in the moment. And is that what you want to do? And so that's what I was just thinking. We're taking this in a lot of directions, but, you know, or the spouse that you're with, the partner, and, you know, you get upset about something, instead of turning and looking into each other, you turn your backs to each other and you don't speak for hours or days or whatever. And then that turns into more days and weeks. And pretty soon you're passing in the hallway.
And you do turn, like, as in, I know there's lots of people that experience that silent treatment. Maybe that's how they manage, that's fine. But there's other people that, you know, they do try to deal with the moment, but they're not communicating.
Mm-hmm.
They're not actually effectively communicating because how I see it is because we don't talk about how we feel. We talk about what's been done.
Yeah. Don't you remember last week when you did that?
Yeah.
You always do that.
Until you know, and you can say sorry, and I can see that you know that you've hurt me, but without the underneath of what is hurting, what is hurting you.
Yeah.
Is it that what's happened, or is it the meaning you make about it? And I just want to backtrack to that whole, the phone thing, Barb, because this is massive. Let's be honest. We are a society of, screen time. Like screen time. That's where we're getting our connection from. And yet, in so many ways, it's disconnecting us from the very places that's most important. And I did this. I went to the beach the other day with Harani, and I left my phone at home. And I don't often, I very rarely do that. So I love taking photos of the beach. But I had the conversation with her, and you notice phone dates everywhere. Absolutely, Dee. Yeah. And I had the conversation with her that I'd left my phone at home, and we were there with the puppy, and she was frolicking in the water. And I said to her, what does it feel like that Mum doesn't have her phone? And she's like, it's really good, Mummy. And I'm like, you prefer it, yeah? And she's like, yeah, it's really good when you don't have your phone here. Because she knows, she can see that I'm taking photos and all of that sort of stuff, that I'm not there. We're perceptive, and we're perceptive from a very, very young age. And just that is enough for them to say, she's not here with me.
Right.
Doesn't matter how much she looks up and waves at me and I wave back. That phone says, you're not here with me.
Right.
And that's not, I'm taking it from my personal meaning. Like, that might be totally fine for somebody else, and they're totally okay. This isn't if you walk around with your phone on you all the time, you're getting it wrong. It's not that. It was just very interesting for me to have that conversation and recognize that this is the thing. I'm not in, because there's a difference. This is the thing. You can be there in the moment. We're
physically.
Exactly. In the moment.
Yeah.
Present, receptive, embodying what it feels like to be in the here and now. And that does take a commitment to time.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about, Andrea, with lining up with who you want to be, and are you being that? If your job is on the phone, we'll stick with the phone for a minute, because that's a really good, thing that's happening in so many of our lives right now. Well, I want to read that in just a second, but okay, so do our kids or our partner know that these are phone hours? This doesn't mean I'm ignoring you, but when is the time at night, or when is the time that they can count on you to be present? And you put them as a priority. And so you putting them as a priority, is that what you want in your life? Do you want them to know they're a priority? And if you do, how do you be in the moment with that? Because if you're not, you're robbing yourself. You're robbing them, and you're robbing yourself. And it starts creating this disconnect. And we're all about love and unity versus disconnection.
Yeah.
So what's our Facebook say here? So very true. I actually kicked my partner's foot if he doesn't acknowledge his daughter when he gets home from work. Like, really acknowledge, say hi with a smile, touch her shoulder, ask her how her day was. Oh, that's so, I can almost start crying about that, Andrea, because I see it so much. And it's, I don't care if they're watching TV and you're on your phone, you're disconnected, which is fine, but is it who you want to be? Is it the message you want to give? Is it the message you want to give yourself? Everybody else on this phone is more important than me engaging with my child right now, or me engaging with my whoever. It's people, and that's
feel the thing, isn't it? We're in the moment all the time. We're talking about really becoming conscious of our moments, but the reality is, you and I, we're in a moment right now, Barb. We are in moments. The moments are happening. We're living the moments.
Never to happen again.
we can consciously choose what we want to do and how we want to feel and how we want to interact and how we want to connect in each one of those moments.
Yes.
And so, like Dee says here, little babies are being conditioned with phone dates so parents can release themselves from parenting moments. And I'm going to go with, well, you know, this is obviously always just our opinion. This is, there's no truth for anyone. But what I respond to that, Dee, is because I don't think that parents know how to take the time to give themselves those moments without, does that make sense? So as in, you know, they can release themselves from parenting moments because a parent's able to become present in the moment for themselves individually, for themselves as a couple, and then like in each role that we play, how do we choose to spend our moments?
Yeah.
And yeah.
And again, that takes me back to that, the desires of our heart. What do you want? And are the actions you're taking getting you that? And so in this episode here, we're talking about being in the moment. And is what I'm doing in this moment getting me what I don't mean just what I want, but who I want to be, how I want to come across. Because it's that infinity flow. You see me do this all the time, the infinity flow. And where is it blocked? If I'm blocking my child or my partner from experiencing time with me, I'm blocking me from experiencing time with them. If I open that up for them, I open it up for me. And so this thing of like, who do I want to be? How do I want to be experienced? And what do I want to experience? And it's a big deal.
And I think for me, it's really important to draw the line, Barb, in terms of like addiction. And I'm not speaking on but the reality is that there's dopamine release from screens. Like they're addictive. They are designed to tie up all of your moments. Right? And so it's like anything. And it is a choice, and I understand that. But there's that reality of you need to be conscious if you want to change something, and you need to be conscious that it is addictive to be there. But recognizing the chemical releases from also that come with connection and stuff like that. Like I'm going off on a tangent, and I know that I am, but it's really important for me that nobody feels this, oh, I should get off my phone. Oh, I'm not being a good parent, because there's a lot that goes in this. It's not just that, you know, simplicity of that, but recognizing that we still get a choice in that, and we get to choose what we do with our moments.
I think you bring up a great point, Andrea, because you're not just talking about screen time. That you get the same effect when you're always anticipating the future, trying to control the moment. That's releasing different chemicals in our body too. And what do all those things do? They affect our health.
Massively.
And our
moods. I did a workshop last year that was about this, and it was so enlightening about it talked about that we're not addicted to feeling good. We're actually addicted to feeling like shit. Because that fear, like you're talking about, the fear and the chemical that it releases is addictive. And so that worrying and what if and you know, then our cortisol levels go up, and you know, it went right into the chemical side of things, and the dopamine hits that we get. What we need to be really drawing from is oxytocin. And oxytocin comes from, well, this is what was being shared. 4 different connections. Excuse me. Connection to self, connection to others, connection to nature, and connection to spirit. And oxytocin is a feel-good feeling, but it's better for us than dopamine, which is a feel-good feeling but is very addictive. And this is the whole, like, you could go into a whole other layer of why it's so important to be in this moment. And so, because we know, like, core connection things, like if people just that are tuning in sit with that, how do I feel when I connect to myself, when I take a moment for me? How do I feel when I take a moment to connect with others? How do I feel when I connect with nature? How do I feel when I connect with spirit, whatever that is for people? Almost guarantee that in this moment, thinking of those things, I bet they feel different.
And you know, Andrea, because of the work that we do and the groups that we work with, that we know that how do I feel in this moment? When was the last time I stopped and did that for me and thought about how I feel and what I want? Like, people are shocked that they're like, I don't remember the last time I did this. And it's really interesting. So,
and there we go, confirmation there, because Jill's saying that she, you know, it's a freeing feeling, light, at peace, bubbly.
Yes. And that's what we witness with people that we work with, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden their faces light up. Their eyes get bigger. They sit up straighter. It's like, whoa, I haven't felt this for a long time. And that's what we're just suggesting about this being in the moment and stuff. It's like, just be aware. And
because this is the thing, Bob, would you agree, is that when we really take the time to do that, or it just becomes who we are, kind of stop striving for the future because there's nowhere else you want to be.
Yeah. Oh, like, I love that. I love how you're saying that. Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's, for me, it's like we're looking to the future because we want to get to a feeling, or we think we want to, that's where the feeling's going to be, but the feeling can be right here, right now. And you stop striving. It's not like you don't need goals or ambitions or direction. It's not, not that. But it's the energy of when I get there, when I have this, when that happens, which actually chokes out this light, freeing feeling of,
right here and now.
What Jill's saying. It chokes out choosing yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the power in doing that, the power in choosing, how do I want to be in this moment? Even when, and we've said this over and over, Barb, this is not about we have to have the right external conditions or situations. Your life can be absolutely flipping out all around you. Does that make it more challenging? Sure it does. But you can stay at a place of centered, more centered. Maybe you're not going to be as centered as you want to be. Maybe you're not going to be enjoying the moment as much as you want to be. But we can stay more grounded, more centered, more in the moment, even if life is kicking off all around.
How you say that?
Because, like, I guess that's the thing. That's the difference between being controlled and being in control, and not controlling.
No,
really, it's controlling and being in control are different things. Being in control of how we respond is power.
Yeah, it is. It's choice. It's choice. Yeah. So
we might wrap today's up, I think, so that people can go off and be in their moment. And I would really love to hear if anybody wants to respond at the bottom in the comments of any of where you're tuning in from. What does in the moment feel like for you? And maybe you haven't been in the moment for a really long time and you want to take this as a reminder. But what does it feel like when you are in the moment? What does it feel like for you, Bob?
I love that, Andrea. What does it feel like for me? It feels peaceful. It feels content. Don't hear me say that doesn't mean there isn't pain at times. There isn't all that. It's not everything is all no issues, but it just feels content. I mean, I'm grounded. I can think clear. I can just be in the moment. And for me, it's very peaceful. It's very grounded. And it's enjoyment. You know, the flip side of that is this can be really fun. It can be
I was
really
just going to say that. When you were saying that, I'm like, oh, for me, it's like, it's fun and it's exciting and it's like, it's this bubble of energy. And I can literally feel, as crazy as this might sound, I can literally feel like my heart, like in my chest, like expand out. It's like, maybe it's like your friend Leslie says, like the heart up. It's like everything just comes up and out. And it's like, oh my God, it's so good to be alive right now. That.
Andrea, I'm having a party going on inside me all the time. I mean, you know, my joy, my face, this is how it is a lot of time. And it's because I choose it. Even in the crappy moments, things going on around me, I can still come back to choosing the peace. And so there is a party going on inside most of the time.
And then there's no place to be, because why would you not want to be right here, right now? Enjoying that party.
That's right. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. We will catch everyone again next week. Thank you so much for our beautiful listeners that tune in and comment and are here in the moment with us. We love you and we love you too. So thanks. So great start to your day. Excellent. Love it, Jill. Just keep on flowing.
Thanks, Jill.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.